Dumpling? Where are you going? You have to stay with Mommy. Then she quickly locked the door, dragged me inside, and started acting like a psychopath. Eat up, my dumpling. Why are you so sad? It's seafood pizza, your favorite. I'm sorry I didn't let you eat it before, but now you can have it all you want. I'll buy this for you every day. Only 3 more steps to go. 3, 2, 1. Sophie! Oh man. Busted. Okay. So, it's because today at school, I persuaded a friend to test out my skateboard. But come on. How was I supposed to know she'd end up breaking her leg? Oops. I called your dad, and he's arranging your school transfer. What? Ugh! Is anyone else's mom way over the top like mine? My dad's away on business trips a lot, so the majority of the time it's just me and her. But we're basically chalk and cheese. Everything I do seems to annoy her. Skateboarding or partying, even breathing, I suppose. Geez, doesn't she remember what being young was like? Or was she born this boring? Then whenever something happens, she always rings Dad and snitches on me. Ugh! Speak of the devil. Oh, hi, Dad.
Sophie, it's all sorted. You're transferring to Kings West High School next week.
But Dad, I don't want to move schools.
You brought it onto yourself, young lady. I have an old friend teaching there. I've told her to keep an eye on you. So, you better behave yourself.
Poof! He thought he could scare me? As if. I ain't afraid of some cranky teacher. So comes my first day at this place, and this teacher, friend of Dad's, Miss Janet Clark, wouldn't quit gawping at me, and she kept on calling on me to answer her stupid questions. No thanks. Ugh! I needed to liven this boring class up. So when the teacher briefly left the room, I immediately put Vaseline on the cap of her water bottle. It was so funny watching her failing to open it and ended up with a smudged hand. Then when she asked the class who was responsible, I grinned as I raised my hand. Another time, I put an air horn on her chair leg, so as soon as she sat down, there was an ear-splitting sound. It's as if she just farted.
Impressive. How do you think up such crazy pranks? You're even better than me.
Huh? I froze for a few seconds. Who was this handsome boy, and why hadn't I noticed him before? Turns out he's Dylan, and like me, he's prone to getting in trouble. We were talking to each other passionately when I felt a hand pat on my shoulder. It was Miss Clark. She led me into the corridor, and I expected her to shout at me, but surprisingly, she didn't get angry or anything. Instead, she asked if I was having a hard time. How odd. The next morning, I was about to enter the classroom when some popular girls stopped me. Who are you trying to impress? Better know your place, newbie.
She's just another plain Jane. What are you worried about, Rebecca? There's no way Dylan likes her.
Stay away from Dylan, else. Excuse me? This snooty girl just messed with the wrong person. And that's how we ended up pulling each other's hair until I managed to get a hold of her wrist and was about to give her a taste of my shoulder throw. Then Miss Clark intervened. The so-called Queen Bee quickly fled the scene. Then Miss Clark led me out to the schoolyard for a walk. She told me that this girl, Rebecca, was Dylan's ex-girlfriend. Oh, how pathetic. Our Becky has a crush on her ex. Then Miss Clark continued asking if I really felt okay, as she thought there must be some reason behind my rebellious behaviors. Just like that, my emotions got the better of me, and I blurted out how I hated moving schools, and the only good thing about this new place was Dylan. And could you believe it? She actually gave me some flirting tips to impress Dylan, and also told me to text her if I had any problems. Maybe I'd been wrong about Miss Clark. She was actually pretty cool, and I started talking to her pretty often. Then one day, I arrived home to see my bedroom door was ajar. I peeked inside and spotted Mom on my bed, iPad in hand, reading my diary on it. Mom! Seriously! Can you please give me some privacy?
Sophie, what's this about a downhill skating event? Do you want to die?
It's none of your business. Ugh, Mom was so controlling. She wouldn't let me wear the clothes I wanted or even fangirl over the idols I liked. Feeling so wronged, I called Miss Clark to let out this frustration. She was so understanding, saying how adults sometimes make mistakes too, And my mom was in the wrong this time. Then said I should sign up for the skating event, as I was young and therefore I should fight for my dreams. I wish Mom understood me like you do. You must be a wonderful mom. Your children are so lucky. She fell silent for a moment, then told me that as much as she wanted to be a mother, but she was divorced and had no kid. Adopt me then. I'd rather be your daughter than my mom's. Then she gently smiled at me. Thanks to Miss Clark, my stuffy home life felt a bit better. While at school, thanks to her matchmaking, Dylan and I were now a couple. Yay! Rebecca thus gave me dirty looks all the time in class. But tough luck, sweetie. And our 1-month anniversary finally arrived. Today, Dylan's taking me out for sushi. Yum! But I'd only had one bite when a familiar figure rushed over. My mom glared at Dylan, then dragged me home. Don't you ever talk to that awful boy again. You hear me? That kind of troublemaker is nothing but a bad influence. Cut ties with him ASAP. This was insane. But thankfully, Dylan overlooked my mom's craziness, and we continued dating secretly. But then one morning, I texted and called Dylan a bunch of times, but there was no reply. Was something wrong? We just had the best date last night, but now, nothing. I rushed to school, searching for Dylan, worriedly asking everyone if they had heard anything from him, when Rebecca suddenly approached me. Dylan could have died thanks to you. Seems like you and your crazy mom are cut from the same cloth. Okay, so turns out that after Dylan dropped me off after our date, he ended up in an accident. Luckily, he wasn't hurt too bad, but he was convinced someone had tampered with his brakes while he made a quick stop at the 7-Eleven near my house. And, yep, that must have been my mom, since he also saw her leave the store. How could she do that? She's ruined my life! Dylan broke up with me right after that. No way was I staying anywhere near her, so I packed a bag and fled to the one place I felt safe. And here I am, at Miss Clark's house. Peace and quiet at last. Oh, what's this? She looked so pretty when she was young. I turned a few more pages, then... Huh? Why does this man resemble my dad? Then I saw a scribble. Janet, Bob, forever. Huh? It was my dad. So she wasn't just his old friend. She was his ex. A thought suddenly popped into my head. Could she be my real mom? Maybe Dad let me transfer to her school so we would be reunited. Oof, forgive me. I must have watched too many TV dramas. But honestly, how amazing would it be if she was my mom? My real mom was such a nightmare. I went to the kitchen to see Miss Clark preparing dinner and couldn't help but blurt out, Mom? She got extremely emotional, then pulled me in for a warm embrace and called me her daughter. Suddenly the phone rang. It was Dad. He told me to go home immediately or he'd stop my allowance. Miss Clark told me not to be worried and just go, but I had to show some attitude to let Mom know that I wouldn't back down easily. So from then on, as soon as I was home, I just went straight to my room without even looking at Mom. And also every time she said anything annoying, I kept replying with, What's wrong with you? My teacher told me to do so. Stop overreacting. And you know what happened next? Yep, Mom called Dad. Again. I reported it to Miss Clark, as usual, and she told me that if I wanted Dad to stop listening to Mom, I had to tell him she was having an affair. What? Wasn't that too much? Did Miss Clark still have feelings for my dad? Was she only being nice to me so she could worm her way back into his life? After that, I didn't talk to her as much, and tried to avoid her at school, just to be safe. But then one day after lessons, I found her waiting by my locker, looking all glum. She told me it was her birthday, but like every other time, she had no one to celebrate it with. If only you'd be by my side this year, my daughter. So I agreed to go for dinner with her, and then for convenience, I made reservations at Mom's restaurant. Maybe this wasn't such a bad idea. I mean, Miss Clark might be able to talk some sense into her, right? They could even actually get on. But as soon as Miss Clark walked in, Mom's face dropped. Janet, what are you doing here? Our restaurant is fully booked. Please leave. The two argued back and forth for a while, and I couldn't stand it anymore. Why are you so rude, Mom? She's my teacher. Mom then stormed off in a rage while Miss Clark and I just ignored her and carried on with our birthday plan. But as she was eating the baked lobster dish, she suddenly turned a funny color, then threw up. We took her to the emergency room, and the doctor said this was down to Ipecac, a vomit-inducing medicine. Who else is to blame? How could my mom be so cruel? Sophie, I'm fine. I'm sure your mom meant no harm. Mom looked furious and rushed over to Miss Clark. I had to pull her back, and then I told her she didn't deserve to be my mom. She was speechless and burst into tears. But it was too late. I announced I would move out of the house and stay with Miss Clark instead. So I went home and packed straight away, then left. But Mom wouldn't quit following me that whole week. It's super annoying. So Miss Clark came up with a new idea. We should move somewhere where Mom wouldn't find us. Huh? Was it a bit too sudden? But this was the only way I could be rid of my freaky mom. So we moved to a little house in the suburbs. Miss Clark took good care of me and completed all of my school transfer procedures. The first few days were so much fun. We had a really good time together. However, I started to notice odd little things, such as she fed me pizza every single day. Pizza and pizza only. She also insisted I wear these worn old clothes and called me Dumpling? What a weird nickname. At first I just wondered why she did that, but then it started to bug me, so I asked her to stop. To my surprise, she started crying. Looks like I was stuck with this awful nickname. Things at home seemed off, and the new school was just as terrible. From the very first day, I again became the target of the mean girls. But one day, as they tried to stop me passing them, one of their faces suddenly turned pale. Huh? Isn't that Alice's gross old shirt? Alice who? You know, Alice. The dumpling. She wore the exact same shirt with the word smart printed on it. I remember this vividly as I used to laugh at how brazen of that stupid girl for wearing a shirt saying smart. My God, even the trace of my cigarette butt on its flap? It's still there? But she's dead. Then they all looked at each other in fear and ran away. Huh? Chills ran down my spine. I didn't know who this Alice was, and I didn't want to. The only thing I knew was I needed to get out of this place immediately. So I rushed home to pack my things before Miss Clark got back from work, but it was too late. Dumpling? Where are you going? You have to stay with Mommy. Then she quickly locked the door, dragged me inside, and started acting like a psychopath. Eat up, my dumpling. Why are you so sad? It's seafood pizza, your favorite. I'm sorry I didn't let you eat it before, but now you can have it all you want. I'll buy this for you every day. Panicked, I didn't know how to hold out against this insane woman when someone kicked in the door. It was Dylan, followed by my parents. Sophie, here you are, our baby. Oh, thank good God. I pushed Janet away and ran straight to them. But how did they find me? I decided to look into the case of my broken brake again, as a few days after the accident, I came back to that 7-Eleven, and a cashier asked me if my mum came home safely the other day, as she saw a woman claiming to be my mum struggling by my motorcycle, saying there's some problem with it. That sounded way too fishy, so I asked to check the store's CCTV footage. And the culprit was not your mum as we all thought, but her. Huh? Why? She helped matchmake us. Why would she want to harm you? I don't know. Maybe she wants everyone to misunderstand and blame your mother. Luckily, our phones have still been sharing locations ever since we were dating, so I found you in time. Many thanks to you, Dylan. My father angrily looked at Miss Clark. Janet, things between us ended decades ago. Please get a hold of yourself. How ridiculous! Who do you think you are to assume this is about you? Dumpling is mine. She's my daughter, and she's staying with me. She broke down crying, and then admitted it all, from damaging Dylan's motorbike to putting Eminic medicine in her own food to fool people. I've tried everything. I can't believe it. How could a gentle person like her do such things? After the truth was revealed, everything gradually got back on track. I went back home, but still, my mind constantly wandering back to her and why she did it. Until one day, I came home from school and was surprised to see that woman sitting on the couch in our living room having a coffee with Mom. To be honest, I was a bit frightened at the sight of her, but she didn't look as unstable as before. It turned out that she'd just returned from a psychotherapy unit. She'd been suffering from her mental health since Alice, her daughter, passed away. Alice, aka Dumpling, was a stubborn teenager, just like me, and due to the strictness of her mum, she once left home in a temper and never came back, as she got in a terrible car accident that night. So, as soon as Miss Clark saw me, she subconsciously wanted to turn me into her daughter to fix her past mistakes. Sophie, I'm truly sorry for the pain I caused you. I let my grief consume me, and as a result, I refused to accept how dark a place I was in. Teenagers are complicated, but please try to be more open-minded and show them love the correct way. Sophie's a good kid, and I don't want you making the same mistakes I did. And so, everything ended in a good way. Although my mom and I still sometimes argue, now we both know how to control it. I also learned to share things with her so that we became closer. And now, when she calls Dad, it's no longer to snitch on me, but it's to talk about how our days went. By the way, I don't have to go on secret dates anymore either. There's my Prince Charming. How many times have I told him not to rev up the engine?
What's up, guys? I'm Avery from Queens, and over there is my mom. Not to brag, but she is a real-life superhero. Have you ever seen any single mom who had to work 3 jobs and only sleep for 4 hours a day, but still is always cheerful like that? Avery, darling, come see. I got the dress you wanted. Really? But it costs a whole week of your salary. Don't worry about that, dear. If it makes you happy, then it's totally worth it. Thank you so much. Let's do a play. Yes, you'll be a perfect Cinderella. My mother and I always had the most fun together. Doing role plays and scrapbooking were our favorite things. Although she usually fell asleep on the couch before we finished any activities, she was still the best mom I could ever ask for. There was nothing that could separate us. Ever. Until that day. I got home from school and my mom wasn't there yet, so I took a nap while waiting for her. But when I woke up, the whole house was in chaos. And there was so much smoke fumes that I barely saw a man approaching.
I found the child! Evacuate now!
What? What is happening? Where is my mother? I managed to grab my scrapbook before we went outside, and I saw Mom looking so distraught. Avery! Oh my God, I am so sorry, baby! What is going on? Why are you in handcuffs? Mom? Mom! I kicked and screamed, but the policeman didn't let me go. I helplessly watched as my mother was led into a van while our home burnt to ashes. Then they sent a social worker to come and get me. Why is my mother getting arrested? For child endangerment and neglect. Look at your house. She caused the fire. No! She probably just fell asleep while cooking. She must be too tired from all the work. She is not a bad mom, please. I am sorry, darling, but that is not for me to say. The judge will decide, and in the meantime, we'll put you in foster care. Don't worry, I have the perfect home for you. You will love it there. Ugh, this is so unfair. My mother was sleeping in a cell just because she wanted to make food for me? I'd rather be with her right now than wherever this car is taking me. We're here. I got out of the car to see a huge mansion. It's like I just stepped into a palace. And the bigger surprise was the foster parents waiting for me. The Smiths. They were one of the biggest couples in Hollywood, who always appeared on TV for their good deeds and the happy foster home they built for children. Time magazine called them the kindest hearts in the country. But if they thought putting me in a nice house would make me stop fighting for my mom, they were dead wrong.
Nice to meet you, Avery. We're so sorry about what happened and promise that you will be well taken care of in our home.
Hello, Avery. Aren't you a lovely girl? You can call me Mom. I will not. I have a mom.
Right. Look, I understand that this is difficult,
but why does it have to be difficult? My mother only made a mistake. Why can't I be with her? She's better than all of you.
Whoa, calm down. Don't say that before meeting our kids. They're wonderful.
I turned to see 3 children there. They all looked quiet and shy, except this girl. Hello, my name is Desi. Welcome to our home. That's Martin, and the little cutie over there is Ryan. And of course, Miss Helen, our nanny. We're very happy to have you here with us.
We will let you guys get to know each other. We have some business to handle right now. See you later.
When the Smiths left with the social worker, the air in the room changed. I could tell the kids felt happier and more relaxed. Desi kept talking nonstop. Martin cracked his first smiles, while little Ryan ran into Nanny Helen's arm, and she held him so gently that it made me miss my mom so bad. They looked like a real family, and I was just an outsider. Finally, Helen took me to my room, and I could only hold my tears until she wished me good night and closed the door. I cried so hard that night, feeling so lonely and miserable that I couldn't sleep. No, I can't stay here. I need my mom. So, the next morning, I got an idea. I looked at my beautifully decorated room and started to rip it apart. Surely, if the Smiths saw how disobedient I was, they would send me away, back to my mom, right? When I was done, I opened the door to find the kids and Nanny Helen standing there in shock. What are you looking at? Go on, tell your parents that I'm a monster.
You all right? You didn't accidentally hurt yourself, did you?
It's okay, Avery. Let us help you clean this up. You can wait here. It won't take long. No! Why are they acting like that? They're supposed to be mad. Instead, they quickly cleaned everything and got new furniture from the garage to replace the ones I broke. And in minutes, the room was as good as new.
If you don't like this room, you can move to another one.
Jeez, this plan didn't go as I expected at all. No worries. I still had a lot up my sleeves. So I kept throwing tantrums here and there, spicing up their food, messing with their drinks, hiding their stuff, but nothing worked. They always forgave me, helped me, protected me. No matter what I did, they still said, "It's okay. We got your back. We're here for you." What's wrong with them? If my shenanigans wouldn't work, I would never escape this house. I guess I had to act up right in front of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, so they would kick me out immediately. But easier said than done. They were rarely home. So right the next time they returned with a beautiful vase, I seized my opportunity. When nobody was around, I gave the vase a little push, and it stumbled off. A crashing sound jarred. Then the Smiths rushed to the scene. Oh gosh, what happened? Before I opened my mouth, Martin jumped in and said,
I'm sorry, it's my fault. I just wanted to admire it, but accidentally dropped it.
No! Why do you say that? I did it! Right then, Desi and Ryan also joined in and took the blame for the shattered vase, making the situation even messier.
Enough! Do you know how much this vase cost? You ungrateful peasants. I fed you, clothed you, and you smashed my precious vase, which is more valuable than all of your lives. We should have left you to rot in your stupid orphanages.
Please, they're just children.
Shut up! I hired you to keep an eye on those rats, so this is on you too.
Then the Smiths pulled Nanny Helen into their private room, but I could still hear them arguing, and Helen's pleading. I was totally shocked to see how rude and cruel the Smiths were. Finally, they decided the damage would be deducted monthly from Helen's wages, which also came from the fostering allowances. And God knows for how long. When I turned around, the kids had already cleaned the broken pieces on the floor with the saddest faces ever. I thought they would be angry at me, but they just gave me disappointed looks, then returned to their room. That night, I tossed and turned. I didn't mean for things to go this far, and make Nanny Helen pay for my guilt. But how could I fix it? Those kids were very close to Helen. Maybe they would have some idea. So, for the first time, I went to Desi's room and found all the kids were there. Hi, guys. Go away. You hurt Nanny. You hurt us. I am so sorry. I didn't know the Smiths were so harsh. I just want them to send me back to my mom. We know, Avery. But if you get kicked out of this house, they won't bring you back to your mother, but to another foster home. And they're all so much worse. Trust me. Martin and I were in the system for 4 years before we got here.
True, the Smiths are not very nice parents, but we have Helen who has a golden heart, and you can't find that anywhere else. We don't want you to endure injustice, neglect, and discrimination like we did in past years.
Gosh, I couldn't imagine how much they went through. Yet all I did was bring them trouble. Talking about Helen, she shouldn't be punished for my act. How can I help her out? That's hard. She didn't get much from this job, you know, and this fine added more burden on her.
Yeah, the Smiths are very strict about anything related to finance. I don't even think they give Helen a fair amount to take care of us, because she always struggles and sometimes has to pay out of her pocket to give us food.
I can't believe it. The Smiths are rich. If they don't care about us, why do they become foster parents? It's a gig that makes them look good in the media and gives them more money. Who would say no to that? Then we spent the whole night talking, and I gradually realized these kids were no different than me. They also desired love and care from their parents. parents, from family, so I told them about my mother and showed them my scrapbook. All of these memories seemed to relive in front of me while I was talking, and by the time I was finished, we all had tears in our eyes. I am sure there's a way to help you get back with your mom. We will figure it out together. The next day, Mr. and Mrs. Smith suddenly wanted to take us out for a meal. Nanny Helen prepared the best clothes for us and waved us goodbye while we stepped into the Smiths' luxury car to go to the biggest restaurant in town. This is for our parents' promo campaign. We do this once a month. Remember the $5 rule, children. We won't pay any more than that. So think carefully before you order and behave. Wow, how generous they are. I can totally see where the title, The Kindest Hearts in the Country, came from. We arrived at the restaurant and sat down at a large reserved table with cameras everywhere.
Come, my little angels. Ryan, come sit with Daddy.
That's it. This phony act was unbearable. If I want to help these kids and Nanny Helen, this was my chance. So when the staff came to take orders, I loudly said, I want a hamburger, this chicken nuggets, and that sundae. Darling, you can't eat that much. Remember our rule? Well, you said you won't pay more than $5 for us, but all those dishes are only $4. Look how awkward the Smiths were in front of the confused staff. My trick was definitely working. Oh, okay. Anything you want. What are you doing? You'll be punished. As if I care. My play had just begun. Next, when all our food was served, I took the ketchup bottle and squeezed it with all my might. The paste spurted out and landed straight on Mr. Smith's face.
Ouch! What the heck?
Everyone rushed to help him clean it, including some staff. Exactly my time to shine. I'm sorry, Dad. I just wanted to draw a flower on my dish to dedicate to you. You took me in at my worst time, and I can't thank you enough.
Of course. That's what I should do.
Aw, she's so sweet. Yeah, you can't be mad at her. So let me give you a proper thanks. Thank you for giving us a house to live in, though you're never home to check on us. Thank you for cutting down our nanny's payment to get more money to take us out for this meal. And thank you that you didn't punish me for breaking your vase yesterday, because you made our poor nanny pay for it instead.
Stop this nonsense! You just want to mess with me, don't you? You're all just a tool for me to make money and improve my reputation. Why can't you act nicely?
Easy, dear. The camera's still on.
Doesn't matter, we can edit this footage out. Now I have to give this foolish girl a lesson.
Really? Can you edit those, too? Little did he know. The fuss I made attracted so much attention that people started live streaming everything. Right that evening, many articles about how horrible the Smiths were came up. Because of their huge influence, the topic of bad foster home quickly became so heated that the government had to step in and review the entire system. The living condition in every foster home was improved, so many other foster children also benefited. The Smiths were so ashamed that they packed up and moved to Aruba and left the kids in the house with Helen with enough money so they didn't get called out again. I didn't expect things could go so well. Helen officially became the kids' foster mother, and I was so happy for them. Thank you, Avery, for helping us out. We want to do something for you, too. The blast on the internet gives me an idea. What if we share your story online to get attention for your mom's case? If enough people care and sympathize with her, the court will have to look into it, too, and understand she's not a bad mom. Wow, that's a brilliant idea. With Desi's help, my video with a scrapbook quickly went viral. And on the day of the trial, the courtroom was full of people who supported us. The verdict was finally announced. And my mom walked free! Woohoo! This is the best day of my life. We got our lives back together pretty quick because we received so much help. My mother and I got a huge deal to start a mother-daughter podcast, and I got to see Desi and Martin all the time, and at school too. And look, isn't that our lovely Ryan?
Finally, after an 11-hour flight, I arrived at LAX, Los Angeles International Airport. It's awesome! I can't wait to see my mom. You see, my dad's French and my mom's American. We used to all live together in France, but then they split up and Mom moved back here. Of course, I've talked to her on FaceTime and stuff, but this will be the first time I've properly seen her in 5 years. I haven't visited before because Mom's a super successful businesswoman and she works really hard. That meant she wouldn't have the time to provide me with the attention I needed. But now that I'm 16 and I can look after myself, I'm finally able to visit. So, thanks to my dad and stepmom for my plane ticket birthday present, I'm now in sunny LA for a whole month. Not only do I get to spend time with Mom, but I also get to chill out in her enormous villa. Ah, bliss. But first, let's get all my luggage, then find a taxi to my mom's. Yeah, unfortunately, She couldn't come to pick me up since she had some work to do. But no problem, I can handle this myself. Okay, maybe I spoke too soon. It's been half an hour and my luggage was nowhere to be seen. Then, this handsome guy approached me and said,
"Hey, looks like your luggage has gone AWOL. Do you need any help?"
Cute and helpful. I could totally get used to US guys. I showed him my ticket, and turns out I was waiting at the wrong carousel. Oops. After guiding me to the correct one, this guy, whose name I found out was Zach, even pulled my luggage down for me. But one of my cases got stuck and burst open, causing everything to tumble out.
"Girl, it's not your lucky day, is it?"
He burst out laughing. Oh well, at least it wasn't all bad. I mean, a cute guy had rescued me, right? He helped me pick up my things, then he offered to drive me to my mom's house. After some 30 minutes, he began to slow down. I looked out the window and, oh my God! This is the chicest villa ever! The pool, the tennis court, the palm trees. It was exactly like a movie star home. I was gawping at the villa when suddenly I heard a car engine sound. Startled, I turned around to see Zach zooming away. "My suitcases!" I yelled. Ugh, my laptop and iPad were in there too. Oh God, why is this happening to me? And on my very first day in the US? At least I still had my phone and passport with me. Phew! So I called my mom. Needless to say, I was a distraught mess when she arrived. Who'd have thought that such a kind-looking guy would turn out to be a thief? Anyways, my mom could buy me new clothes and things, and I could still have an amazing time in her villa, right? Mom led me to my room and told me to get some rest. After that disaster, I was dead exhausted, so I quickly fell asleep on the comfiest bed ever. When I awoke, it was dark outside. I realized I hadn't eaten anything since the flight, so I went downstairs and checked the fridge and cupboards. Huh? They were all empty. I was still digging around in the kitchen when my mom returned with some burgers. "Sweetie, I only got back from my business trip yesterday, so I haven't had time to go to the grocery store. Let's just eat fast food today, okay?" I didn't mind, as it was awesome to have dinner with my mom again after such a long time. I took a look around the room. There was barely any furniture here. My mom said that's minimalism, a trendy lifestyle in LA nowadays. Less is more. How cool is that? The next morning we went out, but what's with that old rusty car? Seeing my confused look, she quickly explained that this was only temporary as her car was being serviced. But then Mom couldn't get the garage door to open. Turns out, normally she had her own chauffeur, but since I've traveled thousands of miles to visit her, she wanted to drive herself. Aw, how sweet. In the following days, my mom and I enjoyed ourselves in LA. Sunbathing by the pool, spa days, shopping. This is definitely the best vacation of my life. At least until that morning, I was awoken by a loud quarrel. Looking down from the stairs, I saw Mom in the living room with a strange woman. She was pointing at the couch. Geez, that's where I spilled soy sauce yesterday while eating sushi. Then Mom appeared and sounded flustered. She told me to quickly pack my things as we were leaving. Mom, is there something wrong? Oh, nothing, sweetie. It's just that the couch is dirty, so let's just get someone in to clean the entire villa. Wow, Mom would deep clean the whole house just because of a soy sauce stain? How rich is she? So, where will we stay this time? A luxurious 5-star hotel? Or a magnificent mansion in Beverly Hills? But then the car came to a stop in front of some shabby apartment building. Huh? This couldn't be right. Mom told me this was her friend's spare apartment, so we would stay here a few days for convenience. Elena, it's probably best if you stay away from the people in this area. They don't have the same lifestyle as us. You know what I mean. Ugh. Yeah, this place was the opposite of the villa. Cramped room, hard bed, and the bathroom didn't even have a bathtub. Since moving here, Mom didn't take me out anymore. In the evenings, she dressed up all elegantly and went out to her fancy work meetings. On one such evening, I was sitting alone watching YouTube, munching on French fries for the 5th time this week, when there was a knock on the door. I opened it, and standing there was a scruffy guy, claiming to be Frankie, the landlord's son. I told him there must be a mistake, as we were only here for a few days. Then I went to close the door, but he blocked it with his foot.
Miss Anita has rented this apartment for 2 years. What do you mean a few days? I just saw her take a cab at the front door. Don't lie to me.
No, my mom is a successful businesswoman who has a villa in Brentwood Park.
Then you must have mistaken your mom for someone else. In short, remind your businesswoman mom to pay the rent.
Then he sneered and walked away. How dare he say that? And why did I keep on running into jerks? Ugh! When Mom returned, I told her what had happened. I thought she'd find it funny or something, but nope. Instead, she got really mad.
You shouldn't have opened the door to him. I told you not to socialize with the people here.
Okay, hearing made-up lies about yourself like that must suck, but did she have to be so furious about it? The next morning, I was drinking tea on the balcony when suddenly I saw a familiar face passing by down the street. My God, it was the jerk from the airport, Zach! That thief! I shouted, rushing down, but when I got there, he disappeared. I was still exasperated when a voice came from behind.
What on earth are you doing screaming this early in the morning?
I turned around to see Frankie leaning against the wall with his arms folded. None of your business, swindler.
Huh? Swindler? What do you mean?
Quit lying. I already told my mom all about you trying to con money out of me.
Is that so? So, you think I'm the liar?
Before I could answer that provoking question, I heard my mom's voice calling down from the balcony.
Hey, rich girl! If you want a reality check, I suggest you come meet me tonight, and we'll go follow your mom.
Mom appeared and, frowning, asked me why I was talking to Frankie. I blurted out something about asking for directions, then quickly entered the room and closed the door. Frankie was clearly a thieving, lying jerk, right? But then, why were his words lingering in my mind? I had noticed a few strange things, such as when we were at the villa, I asked Mom where the cutlery was, but she couldn't remember. But then in this apartment, she immediately got it. Plus, why was there a photo of her in the bedroom when this was her friend's place? That night, when Mom was getting ready to go out again, I spotted her necklace. Only, it was actually my necklace. The one that had been stolen along with the rest of my stuff. My dad got that necklace custom-made just for me, so it was a one-of-a-kind, but why did Mom have it? I complimented her on it and asked her where she'd got it from. Blushing, she excitedly told me that this rich man she'd just started dating had bought it for her. Then she said he was taking her for dinner tonight. I forced a smile, but my head was filled with questions. Who really was Mom? I secretly followed my mom down the street. Suddenly, a hand patted my shoulder.
Let's go.
I turned around and it was Frankie. Without saying anything, I nodded and quickly got into his car, and we followed Mom's taxi. Hold on. Isn't that the villa we stayed in before? After a while, a luxury car arrived, taking my mom to a nearby expensive restaurant. We peered through the glass wall. There she was. My mom was sitting there, smiling and talking with some man in a suit. Was she pretending to live in that villa to trick that man? Was my mom a gold digger? I couldn't watch any more of this, so I pulled on Frankie's arm. But weirdly, he seemed to be as shocked as I was. Wasn't this your idea? So why the pale face? He just shook his head and took me home. We waited in the apartment for Mom to return, and oh boy, it was tense. Around midnight, we heard the door open, and Mom walked in and looked at us in alarm. She started shooing Frankie out of there, but I interrupted her. Mom, I know everything. You've lived here for 2 years. You're poor, and you scam rich men. Sweetie, it's not like that. Please calm down and I'll explain everything to you. So it turns out, after divorcing my dad, she was determined to go back to the US and succeed at business. But she failed, and she was so embarrassed she lied to me and Dad. Then when she heard that I was coming to visit, she spent the little savings she had on renting a swanky villa for me. But when I accidentally spilled soy sauce on that expensive couch, she couldn't afford to fix it, so we were kicked out. As for the man I was with tonight, I ran into him while walking outside the villa. He's rich and nice. He likes me and I like him too. But what about that necklace? Mom, it's actually mine. It was in my stolen suitcase. My mom gave me a confused look, but before she could say anything, Frankie blurted out,
"That man's a fraud."
Mom and I gaped at Frankie as he turned to me and said,
"I'm sorry, but I think you guys need to know the truth."
Then Frankie told us how that man was none other than Zach's dad. After taking me back to the villa, Zach figured my mom was rich, so he persuaded his dad to come and flirt with her.
"But how did you dig up the dirt on these guys?" "Because I know Zach. When I saw Lana chasing him, I knew he'd stolen from her. But he's my friend."
Great! So you've both been lying to me! Then I rushed into my room, locked the door, and burst into tears. The next morning, Mom knocked on my door, but I ignored her.
"Lana, I get that you're upset with me, but I've left a sandwich here, so please at least eat something. I'm really sorry. Just wanted to be the perfect mother for you."
Her words caused me to sob all over again. But I can say, from the bottom of my heart, I feel sorry for her. After that, I opened the door and hugged her tightly, and then we both blubbered into each other's arms. I'm leaving LA today, with Mom. She's moving back to France with me, where she can start afresh. While I was dragging my suitcase to the taxi, Frankie appeared and apologized to me. I just shrugged and told him it didn't matter anymore. I mean, at least he came clean in the end and saved my mom from that swindler.
"Hey, rich girl, good luck. And, feel free to keep in touch."
So, what now? Well, Mom is settling back into French life. She has a new job and a chic apartment. I go and stay with her each weekend, and it's good to finally spend time with the real her. As for Frankie, well, we send each other lots of Snapchats. So, okay, maybe I kinda like him. I'm planning to visit him in the summer. Hopefully my next trip to the US won't be as crazy as my last one. This? Or this one? Ugh, this is such an impossible decision. It's my senior year, so I wanted this last prom to be the most memorable. I wonder which guy will ask me to prom first. Adam's cute, but he's so hot and cold with me. Then there's Devin, the school's hottest swimmer. Oh, and I also heard rumors that Ethan, the most popular jock in school, was planning to ask me to prom at the next baseball game. My buzzing phone broke me from my thoughts. It was a message from my friend Donna saying, "Phoebe, have you seen the news? Lockdown starts tomorrow." Oh my god, this couldn't be legit. Could it? What about prom? Then I received another message from the prom committee. Due to the current rule changes, unfortunately, prom's been cancelled. No! Unbelievable! My prom! It was another message. Jeez, I was getting sick of them. I hoped it would be Donna telling me this was all a joke and prom wasn't cancelled, but no. I glanced at it and saw a text message from Jacob, a classmate I never spoke to. That's weird. Curious, I opened the message. Hey, Jacob. So, what do you want to ask me?
"Hi, and, can you help me model for a moment? I'm applying for the Art Institute in Chicago, and the application deadline is tomorrow. But I need to submit a drawing."
I'll be posing for you to draw? But I've never modeled before. This sounds super important. Shouldn't you ask a professional?
"Well, Don't worry. I already have all the ideas, and I think you are the most suitable person to model for me, as you're a natural beauty, and that will show in my work. Especially your beautiful eyes.
Okay then, if you say so. Let's do it. Jacob then instructed me how to pose. After that, he took out a piece of paper and started sketching carefully. Meanwhile, I was sitting there trying my best to help my friend by not moving. Now that I had time to really look at him, I think Jacob is really handsome. Especially when he's so focused on drawing like this. Why has it taken me 3 years of high school to realize this? Strange. How can such a good-looking guy be pretty much invisible in my class? Maybe it's because he's a little on the shy side?
Done. What do you think?
Wow! You're so talented! I like it. I like it a lot.
Really? When can we meet again? I'll give you this drawing.
Oh, I thought you were going to send it with your college application.
Give me a sec.
Just like that, he disappeared from the screen without even answering my question. After a while, Jacob returned with a picture frame in his hand. Then he put the picture he'd just drawn of me in it and hung it up in his room.
In the meantime, I'll hang it here, so it's safe and, well, I get to, see you every day.
Why did he say it like that? He's totally making me blush by now. What about your college application?
Actually, I submitted them already.
So, you tricked me?
I'm sorry, it's not like that. Actually, I wanted to ask you something else, but because I'm really nervous, I ended up blurting out that I wanted you to model for me instead.
So what exactly do you want to ask me? If you don't talk, I'll hang up.
Wait! I know it's canceled and all, but I don't want to spend the rest of my life not knowing your answer. So, if I asked you to go to prom with me, would you say yes?
I don't know. Only when I receive an official invitation will I consider it. I was giggling to myself at this point. Our class's shyest guy was being so genuine. But then he took a deep breath and said boldly,
Phoebe, will you come to prom with me?
Aw, I have to admit, I was really touched by Jacob's invitation. So I replied, yes!
Dinner's ready, hun.
Oh, that's my mom calling. I gotta go.
Yeah, you go eat. Thank you. I've received the answer I needed anyway.
I gave him my cutest smile and then ended the video call. Swoon? My heart was fluttering. After that moment, I couldn't stop imagining how great it'd be. Only if we weren't stuck in this stupid lockdown, Jacob would have escorted me to prom and, oh my, imagine how perfect we would look together. Such a pity. Now all I could do was just think about him all day. A few days passed, only Jacob hadn't contacted me. Not once. This made me antsy. I was constantly checking my phone. Then there were times I was so close to texting him first. But for what reason, though? I had nothing to tell him. Aha! Got it!
Phoebe, what happened?
Jacob, I've screwed up.
Calm down and tell me what's happened.
I almost burned the house down.
Huh? What? What did you do?
I forgot to turn off the stove while frying the eggs. You see? Does it look like crime scene evidence?
What have you done to the poor pan?
That worked a treat, as after that, we video chatted almost every day and talked about all kinds of things, from our dreams for the future to our favorite puddings. On the one rare day we didn't chat, I felt myself feeling restless. Is it possible that I was lovesick? One time, while I was standing in the garden talking to Jacob, Nancy, my gossipy sister, caught me. Expectedly, during dinner that night, Nancy told my mother that I had a boyfriend. Ugh, what a snitch. Why did my mother give birth to me and her as well? Fine. And FYI, my mom is one of those super strict types of parents.
Phoebe, what did I tell you? Before graduation, you can't date.
Mom put her fork down and gave me a serious look. But we're just friends.
No buts. From now on, focus on studying and stop contacting him. Understand?
Annoyed, I stormed off to my room. That night, I couldn't sleep a wink. I longed to hear Jacob's voice so badly. I missed him. Then, at midnight, I somehow ended up picking up my phone and texting him. I know it's late, but are you awake? I'm so stupid. Of course he wasn't going to be awake at this. Oh, it's Jacob.
I'm awake. You want to talk?
So he called me, and we talked in whispers so no one overheard me. I told Jacob about the argument with my mom. He advised me not to be angry with her because she just cared about me. Then he said,
On your birthday this year, I'll come over and prove to your parents that you've chosen the right person.
Choose the right person? What do you mean?
I mean, will you be my girlfriend?
I was still feeling somewhat confused when he suddenly started singing.
But darling, just kiss me slow. Your heart is all I own. And in your eyes, you're holding mine.
I love that Ed Sheeran song. My heart melted with each word Jacob sang, and I found myself softly saying, I do. Oh my God, he's officially my boyfriend now. This was so exciting. I just wish I was back at school to show him off. We secretly chatted every day, and he was the ray of light in my boring days during the lockdown. But then one day, he didn't reply. I didn't think much of it at first. Maybe he was busy drawing or something. But then, when the day was coming to an end, and I still hadn't received a reply from him, I started to freak out. Was he sick? Only at past midnight, he finally messaged me.
I'm sorry. I feel kinda down today, so I couldn't talk to you.
Oh no, why was he so sad? Hearing this, I couldn't be patient anymore. So I called him right away, over and over, but the only response was a long beep, then followed by a text a little later.
I don't want you to see me in this state. I'm sorry.
What was wrong? He was always such an optimistic guy. Something really terrible must have happened to make him feel like that. Feeling anxious, I continued to call him, until eventually he gave in and answered. Then he told me what was wrong. Lockdown was the final straw for his wearing parents, and now they were getting a divorce. I felt so sorry for him. Oh, how I wished I could have run to him right away. He actually only lived a few blocks away from me. So we planned to sneak out to see each other in the park. From a distance, of course. The plan was that I would open the door on the sly to run outside, while Mom was in the kitchen.
Phoebe, what are you doing?
I...
Come inside and set the table. The food's getting cold.
My plan failed completely. I'm sorry, I couldn't get out. My mom caught me. A few minutes later, Jacob's reply showed up. Turned out he'd already snuck out and had been waiting for me at the park. I felt so guilty, so I called him at once. He tried to put on a smile, but I knew he was really bummed out, so I blew him a kiss to cheer him up. This really brightened him up. Then he said that as soon as lockdown was over, he was giving me a real kiss. Just like that, time went on, and we learned how to make the most of this relationship in the pandemic era. Everything was good until one day he told me some news that struck me like a lightning bolt. He'd received an offer letter from the art college in Chicago. He'd got in! Of course, Jacob was excited, and I was really happy for him. But Chicago was a whole different state, so I'd never get to see him. Jacob said he was still wondering if he should go or not, as he didn't want to leave me. Me neither, but how could I tell him not to go? Jacob, please go chase your dream. Don't give it up over a girl whose hand you've never held.
If I go, then what about us?
Just leave it. Whatever will be, will be. After that day, there were no more messages or calls from Jacob. Perhaps he was busy arranging things for college. I missed him so much, but I had to let him live his life. Then, on the same day Jacob left, I received a package. I took it up to my room and opened it. Inside was the painting which he had asked me to model for. It's really beautiful. The painting. Now how am I supposed to forget you when I have to look at this every day, Jacob? The city eventually came out of lockdown, and things were pretty much back to some kind of normal. It was just that I couldn't stop thinking about Jacob and how different things would be if he was still here. We hadn't spoken since that time we broke up. I guess it was easier this way, but it didn't stop it from sucking. And to make it even worse, today's my birthday, and all I could think about was him. I was sitting there trying to fake delight as my family brought me out a cake and sang me happy birthday. Hang on, who's that? Standing behind my parents? Oh my, it can't be! It's Jacob!
Oh, yes. I found this one loitering outside. He seems keen to see you, and, well, it is your birthday, so I suppose I'll let the no boys rule slide for today.
Mom smiled. I couldn't help it. I darted out of the chair and leapt into Jacob's arms. I asked him why he was here, and grinning he replied,
I have a promise to keep.
Then I introduced him to everyone, and being the perfect guy he was, he's really mature and friendly toward my family, and they love him. But soon the day ended, and he went to leave, so with reluctance, I walked him out to say goodbye. Jacob then held my hand and said,
Look, Phoebe, when I was away, I realized how much I like you, and if you have the same feelings, could we give this long-distance relationship a try?
Without giving me time to answer, he continued,
I'll try my best to contact and come back here often. I will never leave you feeling lonely. I promise.
His words were really touching, but, Jacob, I'm sorry. I don't think we can do long distance.
Why not?
'Cause I've applied to College Columbus in Chicago, and I got in. We're gonna be neighbors!
There he is, my favorite person on earth. He should be the first one to see this. Ivan, look, I did it. I passed my exams, top of my class.
Wow, that's amazing. Look at our little genius.
You know, when we did algebra, I was terrified. But then I was like, it's just math. I got this. And boom, look, I got an A.
Of course you did. You are a genius, the best of all of us.
Man, I am hungry. I will sweep this side so we can go home sooner.
My sister is a genius, a genius.
You are literally the worst singer ever. After that, we hurried home and searched for something to fill up our growling stomachs.
Uh-oh, looks like Mom left arepas in the fridge.
You know I hate that. It's yucky.
1, never say food is yucky. A simple, I don't like it, works best. 2, I got a bonus at work today. Come on, I will buy you a chorizo burger.
Eee! Chorizo burger? Wait, but you need to save your bonus for...
Forget about that. Tonight we celebrate, mi amor.
Yay! Hey everyone, my name is Mirabel, and I'm from Colombia. This is my amazing brother Ivan. Together, we're the greatest team ever. Our mom worked long hours as the mayor's clerk for barely enough money. And even though my brother helped with the money he made from menial jobs around the town, we never had enough. But Ivan was full of ideas to help us forget what we lacked.
I am so cold. Our radiator is broken. Mom called and it's too expensive to repair it. I'm so sorry, guys. But if I pay for this, I don't know if we will have enough to eat. It's okay, Mom. I have an idea. Let's move all our beds to the kitchen and use the stove to stay warm. Mirabel, you always wanted to go camping, right? Today, we're going camping in the kitchen.
Awesome! He always knows how to turn things around like that, even though our living conditions aren't all too great. But with Ivan around, it felt like nothing could go wrong until...
Mira, the most exciting thing happened today. So while I was sweeping the streets in the city, this man in a suit came to me, and long story short, he wants to take me to be a model in America.
What? America? That's so far away, Ivan.
I know, but I'm going to be a model, and that means I'm going to be traveling all over the world. I am going to be like a bird, and after a while, I will take you guys to America as well.
I'm happy for you, but I don't know what I would do without you.
Oh, come on, genius. You can write me every week, and when I've earned enough, I will buy you a phone so we can video call all the time.
You promise?
I swear it on my life.
Ivan left home a few weeks later, and from that day, life sucked. There was no one waiting for me at home after school every day. Mom had to start working even harder, and I was lonely and miserable. Every Saturday, I walked for 30 minutes to the post office, hoping to get letters from Ivan. No letters yet, dear. I have told you you don't need to walk here every week. Once you have a letter, I will rush on my bicycle to deliver it. What if you forget? Or you have so much work and you don't get to me in time? Don't worry, I like walking here. Walking is healthy. Okay, we have a rusty old bicycle in the back. You can have it for your trips here. No one uses it. Please don't say no. It hurts me to see you make this tedious trip every week. Thank you so much, sir. That is so kind. I promise one day I will repay your kindness. I know you will. I excitedly went to get the bike. This probably was the first time I felt happy about something after Ivan left. I was pedaling while humming my favorite song when I bumped into a rock which made me lose balance and head straight to the sidewalk. Oh my god, I am so sorry. It's been a long time since I rode a bicycle. A bicycle? You call this death trap a bicycle? Now I have to get a tetanus shot because that filthy thing touched me. I am sorry. Yes, the bike is dirty, but I don't think you will get any diseases. And I am supposed to take your word for it? Do you even know what a tetanus shot is? Listen, boy, I have said I am sorry, and I don't know what else you want from me. I am very sorry. Goodbye. How dare you? Come back here. With my new bike, I dropped by the post office more often, but life didn't get any better, as there was still no word from Ivan, and later that summer, I graduated high school. I knew my mom couldn't afford college, so I got a job helping the postman deliver his mail. One day, I had to deliver mail to the Santiagos. They were the most powerful family in our town. Their house was a castle. My heart was tumbling in my chest as I placed the mail in their mailbox. As I turned to leave, I heard a voice from the hedges. I looked over and saw the devil boy. Hey, you! Aren't you the girl that hit me the other day? Why are you here? Security? Whoa, wait. I'm just doing my job. I didn't bother you one bit. Job? Oh, with that dead trap. I can't just let you go off and hurt another innocent person. Get over here and directly hand me my mail. I was confused, but hey, it's the Santiagos. I better do what any of them say. So I stepped into their yard and met this smug Diego. But that's not all. After that, he still wouldn't let me leave. That whole afternoon, he made me judge his paintings, give him recommendations for dinner, pick a name for his new pet, etc. Weird stuff. Guess rich people just get lonely sometimes. And that went on every single day after. Gosh, why do the Santiagos have so many mails? And every time I got to their mansion, Diego was already there by the gate waiting and bombarded me with 1,000 silly side quests. He even followed me on my mail delivery. What are you doing? Too rich you don't know how to spend money and time? Well, don't you see? I'm spending them all on you. Right, I'm flattered. Seriously, do you really think our family has that many mails every day? It's all my love letters to bring you to me. Then suddenly, he leaned in for a kiss, but I dodge it. Why? You don't like me? People like me don't get to like people like you. Your parents would destroy my life if we're a thing. Look at me. I will never let any harm come to you. You are the only joy in my day. The love of my life. I need you. Just trust me. Okay. And just like that, we started dating. I didn't think of him this way at first, but I guess his sincerity had gotten to me. He's always around, he gave me all the caring and attention I haven't had in a while, which made me feel like I wasn't alone anymore and I could get through everything, thanks to our love. One day, I came home after a long day and I found my mom outside. Everything we owned was littered on the streets. Mom? What happened? What's going on? I don't know. I just got here and I found these men here, moving our things. I tried to speak to them and they pushed me down. As we spoke, a flashy car pulled up right in front of us. So, this is the girl you have been wasting your time with? Look at her. Filthy, poor home. You are a disgrace and a disappointment, Diego. Diego? What is going on? Dad, you can't interfere in my life like this. Fine then. Make your decision. Break up with her or I'll disown you. Not even one dime to your inheritance. Daddy, that's not a funny joke. We will sort this out. Mirabelle, I was just bored and you're just a gold digger. We both know that, so... What? You promised to protect me! I'm sorry, sweetie. Don't listen to that. I'll explain tomorrow, okay? Then he quickly got in the car and they drove away. I tried to contact him first thing in the morning, but to no avail. I sneaked up to his house, but only to hear the maids saying he's already long gone to some European dreamland, continuing his lavish life among lavish people as his dad wished. So, my so-called loving boyfriend has left me for his dad's money. But without so much of a proper breakup, while his family family is destroying my life, getting us kicked out of our own house, and even getting my mom fired from her job? I felt like breaking down. I've lost everything. This life was just out to get me, and I wanted to give up. But looking at Mom, I couldn't bring myself to do so. I wish Ivan was here. He would know how to fix this, as he would never give up. That's right. I was raised by my wonderful brother, and maybe it's time for me to channel his strength and fill his shoes, keeping this family alive and well until he's back. So, swiping the pain aside, my mother and I gathered what we could, and we left town because we knew the Santiagos would never let us have peace. We went to live with an aunt, Mom got another job, and I started working as the judge's assistant at the local court to support her. One day, I was at work scheduling meetings when I heard a voice that left me shell-shocked. Excuse me, is the judge available to meet me? Ivan? Mira, it's really you. Oh, I've been looking for you. You left us. I waited for you. We waited for you for 2 years. I am sorry, Mira. I tried to reach you, but America was hell. There was no modeling contract. I got there, and I was worked like a horse. My boss prevented me from writing letters to you guys. When I could finally write home, I never got any response. I thought something had happened to you guys, so I came home 3 months ago, and I have been searching for you guys since. Mira, life has been hard for me, and I thought I lost you guys too. I am so sorry. You are home now. Ivan being back brought joy into our lives again, but he was very sad. He wasn't the Ivan I knew. All he did was sleep and being all depressed, and it broke my heart to see him that way. Ivan, you need to snap out of it. What am I supposed to do now? Go back to sweeping the streets or go back to America and start from zero? How do I know things would be different now? I have learned that if you want to make something happen, you have to do it yourself. Ivan, we are going to America. I was saving my salary to get a college degree, but we are going to use it to go to America. You are right. There's nothing for you here, and it's going to be different this time because you are going to have us. But what about you? You were supposed to go to college. Yes, but you are forgetting that I am a genius. I will always find a way to make it work. Okay, let's do it. America was different. Ivan actually got a modeling gig this time, and in 6 months, we were comfortable enough that my mom didn't need to work long hours. Everything was looking up. I applied for a national scholarship, which I won, and I got to go to law school. I graduated top of my class, and I can never forget the joy on my mother's and brother's faces when I read my valedictorian speech on graduation day. Ma'am, there is a client insisting on seeing you. I can't take any more cases, and I have to go to court in an hour. He is insisting, Ma. Fine, send him in. Mira, is it really you? Oh my God, I saw on the TV that big case you won, and I knew I had to come see you. Diego? Hello, how can I help you? Wow, you are even more beautiful than I remember. Let me stop you there. I don't have time to reminisce on the worst times of my life. Be quick. What do you want? Mirabel, you know I had to do what my dad wanted. He was going to disinherit me. I didn't want to hurt you. What do you want? Okay, my company, we are having an issue with taxes, and we need a good lawyer. Everyone is recommending you as the best in town. Please help me, for the old time's sake. Sake? I'd spit on that sake. You are delusional if you think I would ever help you. I hope your company burns. It's been nice chatting with you, but I have to head to court. My fiancé is waiting downstairs. Goodbye, Diego. I hope I never see you again.
Hi, I'm Ananya. After Dad died, Mom said leaving India for the US was a fresh start. But for me, it felt like someone pressed delete on everything I loved. The only thing that made me excited was that I got a bigger room where I could hang my paintings. I loved to paint and dreamed of becoming a famous painter, just like Tulip Bard, the coolest artist in the world. But Mom never liked my dreams.
Did you seriously move with these paintings? After school, you will marry Arjun. That is the plan.
I want to be more than someone's wife, like Tulip Bard. Pretty sure she doesn't wait around for a man to buy her groceries. And I'm not planning to either.
Art won't feed you, but a rich husband will.
Though Mom said art was a waste of time, I signed up for this class behind Mom's back. And that's when I met someone who would later change the course of my life forever.
Are you drawing with your eyes closed?
Still working on it. Yours is beautiful. I'm Tulip Bard's apprentice. You'll catch up. Maybe in 10 years?
What?
My idol trains this girl? Before I could clap back with something equally sharp, the teacher showed up.
Wow, this is like gallery level work.
Britt, again, less is more.
Too many colors are piling on top of each other.
My work was praised while Britt got an earful. That's a lesson against bragging, guys. For once, someone saw me. After the drama that day, it hit me that maybe the only thing holding me back was me. People in the art class liked my work, so I did something totally crazy. I created an anonymous Instagram page and started posting my art. What I didn't expect was the massive stir I'd cause online. In just 1 week, I had thousands of fans. But the shocker came the next morning. I opened my phone to a message from my idol, Tulip Bard. Your art is stunning. I'm Tulip Bard. Let's talk. I'd love to showcase your work. I even received an invitation letter sent directly to my home address. Tulip Bard had seen my art. The woman Britt worships, my muse, wanted me. Mom never liked my passion for art, but I hoped Tulip's invitation would change her mind. So I waited for my 17th birthday celebration to break the news.
Happy birthday, darling. Blow out your candle. Make a wish.
I wish you'd cancel this arranged marriage and let me chase my dreams of painting.
Oh, not this again.
Mom, please. I got invited to an art exhibition by Tulip Bard. She wants to feature my work. My talent is being recognized. Before I could finish, Mom snatched the card from me and ripped it into two. It felt like she ripped my heart apart, too.
I told you, no more painting. You're getting married after high school. Did you even ask how I could afford to pay for this meal? It's all thanks to your husband-to-be.
Before I could ask her what she meant, I felt a hand at the back of my chair.
Hope it tastes as good as it costs.
I knew you were too cheap to pay for this.
That's not how you greet your fiancé who flew in from India.
I was desperate for Mom and Arjun to drop this marriage stuff. So I said and did the craziest thing. I have a boyfriend.
What?
I turned around in my seat and grabbed a random young guy about to walk past our table. Babe, you're late.
I
quickly pulled him toward me before he could say another word. Please play along, please. You're late.
Oh, yeah, traffic. Sorry.
Then I held his hand and turned to face my mom and Arjun, both glaring at us in stunned, angry disbelief. Everyone, meet my boyfriend.
Hi, I'm Trevor. I have had enough insults from this little girl.
Maybe you should try an older girl, like my mom? Arjun clenched his fists in fury, while Mom couldn't hide the fire blazing in her eyes.
How can you be so defiant?
And just like that, Mom and her precious match stormed off. Me? I was relieved. Then I realized the guy beside me. Thanks, and sorry for that.
You owe me one.
Suddenly, Trevor's eyes went wide when someone came into the restaurant. Sure. Maybe later.
You have to repay it now.
Then he grabbed me and kissed me smack on the mouth. Our lips were closed, but still. I was about to give him a brain-resetting slap when...
My ex is here.
And then that girl came storming over to us. Trevor? Who's this? Wait, it was Britt. Talk about a small world.
Hey, Britt. She's my new girlfriend.
Oh, if it's not Miss Stupid Scribbles. I remember the teacher saying that's your title. Britt's face twisted with anger. Next thing I knew, Trevor was taking the hit for the orange juice Britt meant for me. I didn't mean... Trevor, But Trevor didn't even look at her. He just took my hand. Let's bounce. And just like that, we walked off. And Britt, she looked like a tomato about to explode. The moment we were outside, I pulled a handkerchief and tried to blot away the sticky mess on the guy's clothes. I'm so sorry. You didn't have to take the hit for me.
What kind of hero would I be if I let my date get drenched in OJ?
Fake date, you mean? We laughed, melting away the tension. Suddenly, a limo pulled up.
That's my ride. Mind giving me your number? So I can return your magic handkerchief?
He was so charming, I didn't hesitate to rat off my number.
I'll call you, Scribbles.
After he left, I made my way home, where Mom and I weren't seeing eye to eye. Though I love her, I couldn't forget how she tore my one ticket to achieving my dreams. Surprisingly, after that awkward encounter, we still kept in touch. Trevor was so much fun, and being with him gave me a rare escape from the tension at home, until Mom escalated her plan to break me. One day, while we were having ice cream in the park, I got a message from my mom.
What's wrong?
No, it's my mom. She cut off my allowance. I was saving for canvases and brushes.
You paint?
Trevor looked genuinely excited when I showed him some of the sketches I'd snapped on my phone.
Ananya, my mom has got to meet you.
Why?
Trust me, you will be glad you did.
Trevor took me to a grand house with exquisite paintings hanging on every wall. When I was still lost in the magic of the art, a familiar figure suddenly appeared before my eyes. I was even more shocked when Trevor called her Mom.
Mom, there is someone you'll like to meet.
It was Tulip Bard. Trevor rushed to her before we could even greet and began showing her my work.
Look, her art is so stunning, right?
Wait a minute. Are you the one behind Anya's art? Yes, ma'am.
You know her? Remember the talented, mysterious artist I told you I saw online and invited her, and then she ghosted me? How did you find her?
I lost the invite and the address. I didn't know how to reach you again. I know, I lied, but I didn't want to make my mom look bad by telling them she tore it up. Then, Tulip Bard offered me a part-time spot at her gallery to grow as an artist. It was everything I dreamed of. A real step into the world of professionalism. The next weekend, Tulip took me to her art gallery and introduced me to a team of artists. Britt was there and glared at me through the introduction.
Today's theme is peace. Give me a painting that would make even a raging bull sit down and sigh happily.
I set up my canvas and got to work. I chose a quiet river at sunset, the kind of place you imagine running to when life gets messy. After a few hours, some of the other artists wandered over to see what I was doing. Wow, this place feels like a place I'd love to visit.
This is breathtaking. It's like we have another Tulip Bard in the making.
Smiling, I glanced across the hall and saw Britt scowling at her messy canvas. Soon, it was time for our lunch break. We all filed out to the cafeteria. I noticed Britt hanging back, but didn't think much about it until we returned from our lunch break, and I felt rooted in place when I saw my precious painting. Who ruined my painting? I knew it was Britt. She didn't even bother hiding the huge grin on her face. Tulip's coming back in 5 minutes. What will you do? My heart was pounding. But then, staring at the black mess, inspiration struck. In minutes, I transformed the ruined painting into a surreal neon dreamscape, alive with wild beauty. Oh! Tulip came right in then, her jaw dropping along with the other artists when she saw my work.
Oh, Ananya, you're going places.
And then the room that had been filled with horror erupted into loud applause for me, while Britt stomped off, fuming. Later that evening, as I got ready to leave, Britt stopped me at the door. Truce, you tried to ruin my painting. Turned out even better, though, didn't it?
I literally gave you your moment to shine.
I ignored Britt's snide remarks. But thanks to that accident, Tulip had even asked me to join the art competition in 2 weeks, which would be followed by an auction. It was a privilege her students got only after a year of study, but she was so confident that I would create a masterpiece. And, in a reckless moment, just to tease Britt, I said something I shouldn't have. Look, if you're angry about Trevor and me, we aren't even dating for real. Seriously? It is the only way I can get my mom off my back. She wants me to get married right after high school. Little did I know that a slip of the tongue would lead to even more chaos. One day, while waiting for the bus, I saw a guy in all black pull up on a brand new motorcycle. Trevor! Hey, Trevor. Are you here to pick me up?
Ananya, can we hang out today? There's this really cool arcade.
She can't. She has to go to work.
I wasn't speaking to you. Ananya, say something.
Maybe next time. I did have things to do, so I had to turn Trevor down.
See you later, Ananya Jai.
As soon as he left, Britt's eyes lit up like fire. You said you weren't dating. What was that? We weren't, but maybe he wants to? You big fool. Well, I didn't bother with her rudeness. I had a masterpiece to prepare for the upcoming auction. Days passed quickly. With the competition just a day away, I promised myself I'd tell Mom if I won. It was my one shot to prove to her that I was enough. But as I got ready to sneak out, Mom stood at the door, her face stone cold.
Going to the gallery?
My heart dropped. How do you know?
Your friend told me.
Friend? Britt was the one who ratted me out. It was all because of my stupid outburst that day.
You walk out that door for that nonsense? Don't bother coming back.
Her words hit like a slap. I stood frozen, hoping she'd laugh and say it was a joke. All I ever wanted was for her to see me, to be proud. But today, I finally understood she never would. I have to do this. This is my lifelong dream. If you can't accept me, then maybe just throw my bags out when I get back.
Ananya!
Still aching from the fight with Mom, I headed to the gallery to get ready for the exhibition. But what I saw smashed my already broken heart into tinier pieces. My painting, the one I poured sleepless nights and every fragile hope into, was ruined beyond repair. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. The room was spinning. The dream that I had just a second ago seemed so close, and now? Was this how it ended? My heart wanted to burst.
Ananya, breathe! Hey, look at me!
It's gone! Trevor, I can't fix this!
You don't have to fix it. You have to embrace it. Mom told me how you turned your ruined art into a beautiful piece.
I spent 2 weeks painting this. We have just a few hours until the exhibition. You think I can create something stunning in 2 hours?
All I know is, if anyone can turn this around, it's you. It doesn't have to be stunning. It just has to be something. Don't let Britt or anyone dictate your journey. Trevor's right. You've always had that spark. Don't you dare let this one moment, this one betrayal, make you think you've lost everything. A woman at the hall asked me to give you this. Ananya, Mom's here for you. Love, Mom.
Is that my mom? Has she changed her mind?
You wouldn't want to let her down by giving up now, would you?
That was all the push I needed. Mom was here for me. How could I not show her what I had been fighting for all my life? I let myself go, pouring everything into the new piece. My mind and creativity danced wildly as I painted with bold strokes and daring colors. I pulled an unimaginable feat and had the painting ready for the exhibition and then the auction. The bids kept climbing higher and higher.
We have another bid from Mr. Westfield. $500,000. Do I hear 6?
It was so surreal.
Sold to the highest bidder. A record-breaking bid, ladies and gentlemen. The masterpiece by the talented Anya's art.
Here I am, with the highest bid art, Best Emerging Artist of the Year. The room filled with cheers and clapping. Suddenly, I spotted a familiar figure in the crowd. It was my mom. Her tender smile hit me so hard I could have burst into tears. Ananya, I was so wrong. You were incredible. I see you now. I see your talent. I'm proud of you. The validation I thought I would never receive. I finally got it because I stayed true to myself. If you stick to your passion, you can turn even life's messiest moments into something beautiful. Guess who got busted by the security cam? Yep, Britt. Tulip had her arrested for vandalism, and she got a year of community service. Trevor and we became official that day. And from then on, I wasn't chasing my dream alone. I had my mom's support and a boy who made my heart smile by my side.
Why did this fence have to be so high? Oh no, that didn't sound good. It was time to get out of here. But, I seemed to be stuck. Suddenly, a security team was blinding me with a flashlight and telling me not to move. Not that I could anyway. They dragged me down. Then the next thing I knew, I was being pushed into a chair and interrogated by security guards. But all they got out of me was silence. A few minutes later, Mr. and Mrs. Langston showed up. Yeah, they're the wealthy couple who owns this mansion. They're the people that I was looking for. I suppose I did owe them an explanation. I'm sorry for this disturbance, but it's not what you think. I saw your job advert for a housemaid, and I wanted to apply, but the guard said I was too young and refused to let me in. The thing is, my dad has a rare heart condition, and if he doesn't receive treatment soon, then chances are he won't make it. I really don't have any other choice, so please can I have the job and also 6 months salary advance? Right at that moment, a girl my age fell into the room, peered at the Langstons, then started laughing.
Carla, this is not acceptable. Aren't you ashamed of your appalling results for the Francis Academy entrance exam? You should be studying hard to redeem yourself, not out partying at this hour.
This Carla girl just rolled her eyes at them, then wobbly walked off. I noticed Mr. Langston comforting his wife, who seemed to be in much distress at the girl's inconsiderate behaviors. So this must be their daughter then. They sure seem to take her education seriously. And she applied to my school. That gave me an idea. You know, if you want to improve Carla's academic performance, I can help you. They both gave me skeptical looks, so I showed them my academic records and told them how I was a valedictorian and had successfully scored a scholarship at Francis Academy. On hearing about my achievements, any apprehensions they had soon faded. And so, they'd come up with a plan. A risky one. They would pay for my dad's hospital fees until he fully recuperated if I took on the identity of Carla and flew to South Korea to study at an international high school there, while Carla would take my place and enroll at Francis Academy just as they wished. This deal sounded like the answer to my prayers, but I knew it would be tricky. Pretending to be somebody else in a completely different country was beyond my understanding, so I agreed to do it, but only on 2 more conditions. First, a guardian must be present, who would take care of all my paperwork and stuff. Second, after I completed the deal and returned, the Langstons had to help me get into my dream school, the prestigious GBA University, obviously. They gave it a thought, then shook my hand in agreement. It looked like we had a deal! The next thing I knew, I was in an elite neighborhood in Seoul, Korea. Whoa! Talk about luxury! So this was what it felt like to be born with a silver spoon in your mouth. Mr. Preston dropped me off at school and repeatedly told me not to draw attention to myself. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, by the way, Mr. Preston is the Langstons' lawyer, and according to the contract, he's also my guardian. He seems oh so serious, but I guess he's okay. Whoa, this school looked so modern. The architecture was a work of art all in itself. I wandered around the endless corridors and tried to find my class. Everyone seemed quite friendly, and the class president, Minjun, even gave me a guided tour. All the students' outstanding paintings, photos, and models were displayed all across the campus. Countless classrooms of different subjects, from science to art, just made me gasp in awe. I was admiring the artwork when suddenly Minjun blurted out, "Sorry, I've got to go. Miss Lee is looking for me. It'll only take a few minutes, so wait here for me, okay?" Then he rushed off, so I lingered around the hall. That's when I spotted a group of girls nearby. I recognized the one from my last class. I'm sure her name was Isabella. I was about to walk over to greet them when I realized they had this one girl cornered and were making fun of her hairband. Ugh! Where did you get that horrid thing from? I suppose it must have come from some thrift shop or something. I heard that's where poor people shop. Ugh, this whole thing disgusted me. They outcasted someone just because she didn't come from ridiculously rich households like them. I knew that poor girl's feeling all too well. I gotta help her. But I didn't want to get anyone's back up and draw attention to myself. What could I do? Ah, got it! Hey, the teacher's coming. I'll stall her for you guys. Run! My plan worked a treat, as Isabella and her friends nodded at me, then rushed off. I then went over to the girl asking if she was okay. Get away from me! She flinched me off her and then ran off. Huh? I was only trying to help. As I turned around, I saw Minjun looking at me. A bit impressed, I think. He told me that the students here were divided into 2 groups. 90% are rich, and the remaining 10% are poor kids entering under scholarships. Most of the students are quite friendly to each other. Well, except those I just witnessed. Isabella's part of the rich kid group who think their upbringings make them superior to others. She's often mean to the 10% group as she believes they don't deserve to be here. And as you can guess, that girl they upset, she's called Susie. She's in the 10% group, and she's the smartest student in our year. What nonsense! School is school. We're here to study and should all be treated equally. Too right, new girl. I knew there was something different about you. The next day, when class was over, Isabella tapped on my shoulder and thanked me for the warning. Then she asked me to join her group for lunch. I was about to politely refuse when Minjun appeared and asked me to join him. Phew. Thanks to Minjun, I had an excuse to quickly flee the scene. However, I did look back and see that Isabella was giving this offended look. After that, Minjun and I started hanging out more. We soon became close friends, and we both decided that the dynamics around here needed to change. So, we set out to help the 10% Club. One lunchtime, Isabella and her clan purposely bumped into this boy, causing him to spill food all over himself. While they laughed and pointed at him, I rushed over there, took the food, and slammed it onto Minjin's face. Minjin immediately understood my intention. Then he also took a handful of noodles and smeared it all over Isabella. Cue the canteen erupting into one big, messy food fight. Another time, the school was preparing for a cultural fair. One boy from the 10% group had this awesome idea to open a food stall serving traditional dishes from different countries. Everyone agreed, apart from, yep, you guessed it, Isabella and her snooty besties. Such a peasant! Too used to working as a waiter to serve others, huh? I winked at Minjin. Then we stayed behind and secretly wrote Isabella and her friends' names on the list of participants and submitted it to the teacher. Now, they had no choice but to serve food at the super crowded fair. The funniest part was they finally got a taste of their own medicine when the 10% group made the most of ordering them around and complaining. Ew, this ratatouille is too bland. Add some more salt. And this milk tea is too sweet. Start a new batch with less sugar. I have to admit, I was enjoying watching the mean kids squirm. But I guess my enjoyment hadn't gone unnoticed, as afterward, Isabella approached me. Those peasant kids aren't at the same level as you and I. I suggest you put more care into who you choose to associate with, or you could end up being treated like they are. Whatever. I just rolled my eyes, walked away from her, then continued to hang out with my friends in the 10% group. Isabella and her minions gave me dirty looks, but due to the Langstons' name and fortune, that's all they could do. Just like that, my high school years passed by. I had some great friends. And guess what? Yep, I was now dating Minjin. I loved being here in South Korea, and I'd even grown fond of Preston, who, despite being a grumpy gut, now felt like family to me. I mean, don't get me wrong, I missed my family back home like crazy. But Dad was getting better now, and we regularly FaceTimed. As amazing as my life was now, deep down I always felt like I was living in a dream. None of this truly belonged to me, and everything would be over as soon as I left this place. And eventually, my last week here arrived. As I was studying for my last ever exam, the SAT, I received a message from an unknown number. I know your secret. Drop out of the test, else I'll expose you. What? Who could it be? I called the number and a distorted voice answered the phone. I begged them to tell me why they were doing this, but they just replied, "You don't need to know. Just do as I said." Then they hung up. Luckily for me, Preston isn't just an amazing lawyer, he's also a tech genius. Thanks to him, we tracked down the location of the phone. I bet you're just as curious as I am to find out who it was. And now was the moment of truth. Huh? No way! Standing there looking startled was Susie! Why would she do this to me? It made no sense. I mean, I know we weren't friends, but I had nothing against her. Why did she despise me to the point of willing to ruin my life like this? Please let me explain. Ever since you arrived here, I lost my top spot at school, which means I've also lost a full scholarship to college. My family will never be able to afford it themselves, so I decided to investigate you. And that's when I found out that you were not the real Carla Langston, and you got paid by her parents to achieve all these academic records for her. I get why you're upset, but you didn't have to blackmail me. You don't strike me as someone who would do such a thing, so it's kind of disappointing that you did. I'm not. I'm a dead end, Irene. You have to understand. This is my entire future I'm losing here. And what for? So some rich, spoiled girl can get into college without doing any of the work? It seemed like I had a lot of thinking to do. In the end, I realized all I felt towards Susie was pity. This was all my fault, and it wasn't fair for someone as capable as Susie to have her entire future ruined because of me. So I had to be the bigger person here. I decided to ask the Langstons to give Susie the spot at GBA University, which was previously reserved for me as part of the deal. I mean, no worries. With this big brain, I could easily get in there on my own, right? And so, as soon as I was done with the test, I quietly left South Korea behind, without saying goodbye to anyone, including Minjin. Susie and I boarded the same flight back to the state. She couldn't help but thank me all the way there. And, well, let's just say, by the time the plane landed, we became good friends. But things didn't all go as swimmingly as I intended. It turned out Carla was even more negligent than first thought. All she managed to get was a high school diploma with shockingly bad grades. These were now my bad grades. My dream of attending a prestigious university was over. I just have to make do with a community college instead. A year flew by, and there wasn't a single day that I didn't think about South Korea or Minjin. I couldn't talk to him anymore. I promised the Langstons I'd cut all ties with my life there. I mean, Susie was the exception. One day while going out with Susie, she was showing me something interesting on Facebook, when we happened to scroll past a post of Minjin's, which read, "Finally I found you, the love of my life." My heart sank. Wow, it looked like he'd found someone else, while my heart still pined for him. But life still goes on, and a week after that, I was waiting for Susie outside of her college, daydreaming how this could have been my life. I saw a familiar face heading towards me. Was that Minjin? But wait! He was with a girl. Carla! Hang on, his Facebook post was about her? The love of his life was Carla? I couldn't do this right now, so I willed back tears as I took a deep breath and turned to walk away. But suddenly, I felt a hand pull me back. It was Minjin.
It's really you! I finally found you! I've been looking ever since graduation, and then my information led me here and to...
Me! Carla appeared next to him and smirked at me. Hey, who am I to stop the course of true love? So I told him your real name and helped him search for you. I mean, you're smart, so I figured you'd attend this university too. No, you messed up my grades, remember? Anyway, it doesn't matter anymore. I turned and looked at Minjin. I'm so sorry, Minjin. I wanted to tell you everything, but I couldn't. He took my hand in his and gave me this adoring smile.
I found you. And trust me, right now, that's all that matters.